The Lakers upgrade their roster but didn't need to use a trade in order to do it. Jim Harbaugh claims that the Chargers still want Austin Ekeler. And Walker Buehler says his arm is fine, but the Dodgers are tapping the brakes on that. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos morning report. So it is February 11, 2024. I'm still stuck out here in St. Loser misery. But whatever, because it's Sunday. It's the Lord's Day. It's a great day to remind ourselves to be thankful for the good things that we have, like LA sports. And if you like being in the know about LA, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. I do try to get back with you guys. I think you pretty much know that by now. Now, before we go through the news and notes, we'll look at the scoreboard. Overall, pretty good day for the Angelenos. For example, Paul George scored 33 points and the Clippers edged Detroit 112-106. Meanwhile, also at Crypto.com Arena, in Jim Hiller's debut as the Kings interim coach, Quentin Byfield scored twice. David Rittich, 26 saves, as the Kings shut out Edmonton 4-0. UCLA edged Cal 61-60. The Bruins are over 500 at 12-11. Adam Bona led the team with 13 points. Frankly, the less said about USC basketball right now, the better. Isaiah Collier scored 18, but Stanford beat him down 99-68. There are no games involving LA teams today. I would presume that has to do with that thing going on over in Vegas. But let's get to the news. Free agent point guard Spencer Dinwiddie will sign with the Lakers at some point after clearing waivers yesterday. This is according to The Athletic. Dinwiddie was acquired by the Toronto Raptors at the trade deadline and subsequently waived. He cleared waivers yesterday afternoon. But the interesting thing is, when you would expect Dinwiddie to have been in Toronto, he went to see the Lakers play on Friday night with his agent. And both of them were guests of Lakers GM Rob Pelinka. Now, Dinwiddie was a teammate of the Lakers' D'Angelo Russell when both of them were members of the Brooklyn Nets. Should this deal actually go through, Dinwiddie is going to be a backup. So I'm not trying to lie to you guys and claim that this is a championship level upgrade, but it's going to be very useful. It's still an upgrade because he is a playmaking ball handler who hits about 40% of his three-point shots. Russell and LeBron James have both described Dinwiddie as a helpful addition. So he's going to be in the rotation. He's not there simply to take up a spot. So again, game changer? No. Solid idea? Smart idea? Absolutely. Because the Lakers haven't gotten anything from Gabe Vincent. Now, I'm not saying it's Vincent's fault. He's been injured, but they haven't gotten anything out of him. Meanwhile, if the Lakers do want to make any more roster upgrades, though, that's where it gets a little dicey. They would have to cut somebody, most likely somebody making the league minimum. And there are three Lakers currently doing that. That would be Cam Reddish, Christian Wood, or Jackson Hayes. The money, if you were to wager on who would get cut, would probably be Wood, because there were stories about him saying that the Lakers were trying to offload him on somebody. Jim Harbaugh told the Associated Press, quote, "I like Austin Ekeler. We're going to have a huge emphasis on the run game. He's a tremendous back, and we'd love to have him on the team next year," unquote. Do you buy that? Do you? I'm not trying to suggest that the new coach is lying, but to stay with the Bolts, Ekeler would have to eat humble pie. And not just a slice. He would have to eat the whole damn pie in order to stay with the Chargers. Remember, this was a guy who tried to lead a revolt last year against the NFL regarding running back pay, even though he never had a 1,000-yard season. He even tried to force a trade with the Chargers. The Chargers told him, hey, go find a taker. And he couldn't find one. Then he wound up missing time in a contract year. So the only way the Chargers would take him back, because again, the Chargers are seriously over the cap by about, all things added together, probably over $50 million. In order for Austin Ekeler to stay, he'd have to take a massive pay hit. And I don't even know if he thinks he's deserving of a pay cut. I think he thinks he should be one of the top paid backs in the league. So, good luck, dude. Meanwhile, Navarro Bowman, who played under Jim Harbaugh with the San Francisco 49ers, has been hired as the Chargers linebacker coach. It's his first NFL coaching job. So that's being thrown into the deep end of the pool. Meanwhile, the Detroit Free Press also reported that Harbaugh hired Michigan defensive back coach Steve Clinksdale. So the staff, again, filling out for the Bolts. But you need more than coaches, obviously. They're going to have to replace players. And I think we would all agree that mock drafts that you see online aren't to be taken all that seriously. But let me put a little seed inside your head. The Athletic NFL writers drew up multiple draft strategies for the Chargers. One name kept popping up repeatedly in the second round, whether the scenario was go wide receiver in the first round, whether the scenario was to go defense in the first round, whether it was to go offensive line, or even to trade down and get more picks. The name that kept popping up in the second round. West Virginia center Zach Frazier at pick 37. According to people who follow and rank players and whatever, there are allegedly 2 no-doubt starting centers in the upcoming draft. One obviously being Frazier, and the other is Jackson Powers Johnson of Oregon. Now, why does this matter? Remember, the Chargers offensive line 2 years ago was very strong, very adept. Even when 2 offensive linemen who started went down, they stayed together. Now, why was that? Because last year you would have said the offensive line of the Chargers was trash. But I would argue that all started when center Corey Linsley wound up with a heart condition and sat out the rest of the year. And recall, Linsley is likely to retire. So, if it is true, and I'm not saying I know it's true, it just seemed that way, but if it's true that the Chargers offensive line went completely to hell the moment that Corey Linsley got hurt, wouldn't it be a decent argument to say if you get a good center, then the Chargers' fortunes automatically start to turn around? Maybe you don't have to rebuild the entire offensive line. Maybe you just need the right guy at center calling the plays. Food for thought, anyway. Walker Buehler said his arm feels pretty good. That in order to truly recover from Tommy John surgery, you actually do need 18 months. Remember, he had the surgery in August of 2022. So you add all that together. He tried to push it and pitch last year. It didn't happen. But while you could say that maybe Buehler is on target to pitch, the Dodgers reiterated to the Orange County Register, quote, "There is no hard start date," unquote, for Buehler. That would be from Dave Roberts, a quote from Dave Roberts. Buehler has not pitched in the majors since that surgery back in August of 2022. But if you recall, back in 2021, he finished 4th in the Cy Young voting. So he was poised at that point in his career to replace Clayton Kershaw as the Dodgers' ace. This is undoubtedly not just a huge year for the Dodgers, but absolutely a huge year for Walker Buehler, because this is his contract year. He's not just pitching to try to get a ring. He's not just pitching to see if he could be the next ace of the Dodgers. He's pitching for his money. He's pitching for his career. So this whole idea of not having a hard start date, Buehler's going along with it to an extent. But you would imagine he'd want to get the hell out on the mound as quickly as possible. Winger Victor Arvidsson is skating with the Kings in practice again after a second back surgery in less than 18 months. Now, if the Kings, this could be big for the Kings, because remember, they are really up against the salary cap, like almost to barely 100,000. That's how close they are to the cap. If they do not make a trade at the NHL trade deadline next month, which to be honest would be very difficult, having Victor Arvidsson on the ice would literally amount to the big splash acquisition that you would want a team to make. CBSSports.com says while it is true that the Rams could use an edge rusher, the bigger pressing need might wind up being replacing tight end Tyler Higbee. If you remember in the Rams playoff game, he got cheap shotted in the knee by a Detroit Lions player. And the Rams offense, if you can envision it in your head, they run a lot of plays over the middle. A lot of slants, a lot of hooks. They really could use a replacement if Tyler Higbee isn't able to go at the start of the year. People who are into judging recruiting classes for college football, they were kind of meh about USC's class of 2024. Not an amazing class, not garbage, just pretty good. 17th, 18th ranked in the country. But back in the day, it used to be claimed that a USC coach, a USC recruiter, could just walk into a prospect's house, shake the parents' hands, and all he had to do is go plop, put a Trojan's helmet right on the coffee table, and everybody would look at it with this awe-like reverence, like it was the baby Jesus in the manger, looking at that burgundy and gold helmet. That was the sales pitch, according to people back in the day, but not now. So the scribes are pretty unified, though. What would it take for USC to get back to that level when they can pretty much have whoever the hell they wanted? They think it could happen as soon as 2025. They do. For example, if USC keeps five-star quarterback Julian Lewis and the new defensive staff produces results, they don't have to be world-beating results, but they have to be solid results, the Trojans would be a much more attractive destination for the next high school recruiting cycle. I have no legit updates on UCLA football's head coaching search. Oh, I've been looking, but it's all just been people just throwing names against the wall like a monkey throwing feces. It's all the names that you've heard. We do not know of any interviews that are being scheduled or anything like that. But the reason that I bring up UCLA football is I would just like to let you guys know that I am saddened, legitimately saddened, that LA Times emo king Bill Plaschke and I have the same opinion about Chip Kelly. I too, yesterday, without having read his column, thought that Chip Kelly was selfish for quitting the Bruins. I mean, I'm not just saddened that Bill Plaschke wrote that too. I'm downtrodden, melancholy. Now look, again, the scribes are throwing out dozens of names. When legit interview prospects rise, we'll talk about that then to see what they could or could not bring to UCLA. Because we don't want to deal in gossip here. We deal in reality at Faithful Angelenos. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Do you think Spencer Dinwiddie is as solid an addition as I'm trying to suggest he is for the Lakers? Do you believe the Dodgers are doing the right thing by Walker Buehler by slowing him down yet again? Or for that matter, if the Chargers really should draft a center as soon as the second round? And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Cortel Queso production. Take care.